Hello, everyone. Amazing. Thanks for everyone's patience. We are testing, well, we're done with testing, but we're using new software to bring you a couple different views of our World Collage Day celebration. So for those of you who are just popping in, my name is Sarah. I'm the co-founder of ArtSnacks. And with me today is Dr. Erin Partridge. She is our in-house art therapist and also resident artist for ArtJournalSnacks. For those of you who are ArtJournalSnacks subscribers, welcome. I hope you brought your ephemera and your art journal. It's going to be awesome. So happy World Collage Day, everyone. We're so happy you could be here. We're going to be doing maybe like a 60, 75-minute live stream of just pure art making. And we're just going to go through what World Collage Day is. Erin and I are going to banter back and forth about what we're using, and then we're just going to get into some art making. All right. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Lee is the producer for this live stream, so he will be bopping around in the background, highlighting some of your comments, highlighting some of your questions, and we'll answer them live here for you today. Oh, okay. So I'm going to hand it over to Erin. Erin, why don't you introduce yourself?
Great. Wonderful. Hello, I'm Dr. Erin Partridge. I have a PhD in art therapy. One of my cohort members used to say that we were getting a PhD in crayons, but we're not using crayons today, although I do love myself a crayon. Today we're using a medium that is very near and dear to my heart. I'm a great lover of collage. I use a lot of collage in my art therapy practice and my art journaling practice. And it's been really fun to participate in World Collage Day in the past, and I'm really excited to get to do it again this year. And can't wait to share some supplies with you all and talk about Collage Day in general, and then play with some different ways of making collages. So that's my plan for the day.
Awesome. Erin, thank you so much. Why don't you just dive right in? What is World Collage Day, and what is collage? What's the meaning of collage to you?
Yeah, awesome. So World Collage Day is an international celebration of collage. What you're doing with us today is part of a worldwide movement. There are people doing collages in public places, in cafes, in schools, in people's living rooms, all over the world. It's celebrated the second Saturday of May, and it was initiated in 2018. And that was the first World Collage Day that was initiated by Kolaj Magazine. That's Collage with a K. And if you're not a subscriber to Kolaj Magazine, I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful publication. So the idea is to connect people through this medium of collage, which is really about connection in so many ways, right? It's not just I'm painting here on paper, but I'm pulling together all these various sources. And it's creating new forms and new ways of thinking. And one of the things that we talk about with collage in art therapy is that it's actually activating like all these different parts of your brain, because you're hunting and searching for things, and then you're ripping or tearing, and then you're arranging, and then you're gluing it down, and then you're telling the story of it. So it's really this entire part of yourself that gets activated through collage. I wanted to read the quote from one of the editors of Kolaj Magazine talking about why this day was created. Why do we need a day to celebrate collage? And so Rick Cassini-Cador says, we created World Collage Day because we wanted to honor this community of artists and remind the world what a spirit of cooperation, mutual support, and creativity can look like. And now more than ever, we need that message, right? So you're part of something really important today.
Amazing. That is really thought-provoking. We don't, for someone who just like collages all day, every day, it's nice to think back and think about like the reasons why you're doing it. So very cool. And I can't wait to highlight all of my brain. Sometimes I feel like I'm only using one side because I'm left-handed. So I'm like always using my right brain, but today we're going to use all of it. So
yep.
Very excited. I am going to ask Lee to see if we can highlight our cameras that are facing our work surfaces, because I want to talk about some of the art supplies and ephemera that we're using today. I am going to show off. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Lee. So I've got I'm just doing this quickly, and then we're going to head right into it. I've got a mix of magazine cutouts. I got a lot of ephemera that Erin has given everyone from ArtJournalSnacks. I hand-picked everything that I'm using today, so I'm very excited to go through it. I got my color palette ready. A couple different adhesives. I've got the tacky glue from this quarters box. This is also the double-sided tape. It's super thin. Looking forward to using that. I invested in tiny scissors a couple years ago, so I'm very excited to be using those. I've got a range of things. I've got some Marabou art crayons. This is a crowd favorite. I've got some gel pens. Also, I brought out the Niji blender. And I've got a couple other art supplies here and there that I'm going to use. So, Erin, why don't you tell us what you're using while I just sort of set up my desk here?
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I've got a fistful of scissors. I decided that, I'm going to have scissors of all different shapes and sizes. These two are pretty similar. This is like your basic desk scissors, but just for paper things. And then these ones are super, super fine and very satisfying to use, good for little tiny cuts. So I like to have a lot of different scissors around if I'm going to do a lot of collage, because sometimes you just need the big scissors to cut something out, and sometimes you need to do some very detailed cuts. As you can see here, I have a whole range of adhesives. I've got some Elmer's glue, I've got some tacky glue, I've got my ride or die glue stick. This is the only glue stick worth having ever in the whole world. I get very nervous when my supply gets low. I've also got some matte medium and some ultra matte medium in these little brush-on containers. And one of the things that's really important to me when I'm doing collage is I don't want to stop and wash brushes. So I love these little containers because they have, just like the paste containers did when you were a little kid growing up, maybe they have these little brushes inside the lid. So no brushes to clean, nothing to stop and do. Think about setting up your site strategically to do collage so that you've got everything you need right there within reach. And you can see the camera that has my face in it. Behind me, I set up a whole table behind me because the way I really like to work is like in a nest, especially if I'm doing collage. I like to have, like, I've got my bird shirt on, but I like to have materials all the way around me so that if I'm working on something and I want to I need something blue in my collage, I've got a magazine nearby, or I've got a pile of papers, and it's all there within arm's reach, so that I can really stay in the process while I'm in it. So I have probably way more than we have time to collage today, but I wanted to have a lot of stuff nearby.
Same here. I also have like way too much collage stuff than what I can have time for today. So I'm in the same boat.
I brought fine grit paper because I wanted to show a process of using sandpaper on collage material that gets around another process that you can do that's a little bit noxious, and this is a way to get the same effect. So stay tuned for that.
Interesting. All right, so let's see. We're about 10 minutes into the live stream. What do you say we just start making art? Let's do it.
So I think if you're collaging along with us, the thing I'm going to recommend is that you let yourself tear things up. So I showed you my whole fistful of scissors, but it is really important that you get that satisfaction of just like ripping things, and then you get that beautiful torn edge. So sometimes you want a straight edge, and sometimes you want something a little different. So let yourself tear paper while we're working today.
That is a great mantra to like really kick us off.
Paper.
Here I am with like, I have all these, I like to save little boxes and like organize them so that everything has like its own little home. And here you are telling me to like, just rip everything, have fun. And I'm like, okay, I'm stressed.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to start on this page that already has something on it that I collaged. This was the wrapper from like a reusable Ziploc bag, one of those ones that's made of silicone.
Oh, yeah.
And the container was so cool, and it was telling you, like, here are all the possible things that you can store inside this. You could store fruits and vegetables. I'm not sure about watermelon. I question that choice from them, but they also said you could store your toothbrush in here. But what I really liked is they also added in that maybe you could store your art supplies. So it was too cute to get rid of. So I thought that would be a kind of a fun starting place. And I'm looking at my random pile of stuff.
I love starting out with just a scribble. I don't know if it's like a warm up or if it's just like something that I'm actually trying to build off of. So I'm just, I have a spread in, this is actually the sketchbook that I brought to New Orleans with me. So there's already some collage stuff in here. So you told us a very long time ago to just like not plan out every page, but like stick some ephemera in your sketchbook, like on random pages. So
Yep.
I'm building off of that today.
Love it. So great. So another thing that I really love to have in my stash of collage things, and some of you have seen me do this maybe in ArtJournalSnacks world, but is the paint strips. So this one just happens to be like really nice with this color family that's already happening on this page with the blue from the printed material and the blue acrylic that I brushed on this morning. There's a little watercolor in here too. I love the little ombre that's happening. And I think if I stick this right, I can lose the little notation there at the top, but keep the names of the colors. Because very often the names of the colors can be a jumping off point for something else that you might do. So another thing about collage, like another tip when you're doing it, is be very generous with your adhesive. Because if you're sure that that's where you want it to stick, you want it to stay there so you can keep building on it. That said, sometimes you might want to just kind of put one little dot of glue in the center of something, and you have your edges able to be peeled up so that you can tuck things underneath or put them down on top, right? So I could decide, maybe I want this on here, but maybe I want a little bit of glue.
Where's my glue stick? Oh, here it is. I've got the Scotch Permanent.
Yeah.
I have a couple, there's somewhere in this pile, I have a couple of paint chips from, I think it was like the Benjamin Moore store or something like that, when we were painting some walls in our house. And I've just held on to them. So they happen to be the color palette that I'm leaning towards today. So maybe they'll make an appearance.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just kind of looking through some of the things that I have. When I get to a certain point with the collage, then I start thinking about color, right? And like, what else do I want on here? And looking at my collage right now, it feels a little bit too all one thing. There's not what one of my favorite art teachers ever talked about. There's not a bride on this page, meaning there's not like a star of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are a couple ways you could do that. You could find, a character to put in. You could find a big word is another way to do it. I have some other things here characters that might work their way in, but I think I'm going to save them for a little while still.
Speaking of characters, I have my graduates.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if I'm gonna, to me, this spread that I'm doing now feels like a warm up. So I feel like I need to save these for like a good piece. For those of you who don't know, Erin creates all of the ephemera packets that come in the ArtJournalSnacks boxes. And was this just from like a vintage yearbook?
Yeah, I picked up that yearbook probably, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Wow.
At a estate sale. And it's just sitting in my studio for a long time, like in this storage area. And I pulled it out and I was like, oh, I mean, way before we had even dreamed of ArtJournalSnacks. This was back in the like, even maybe pre-ambassador days.
Like, oh, really? Wow.
But yeah, it just seemed like this definitely needs to be a thing, and it was really fun to cut it up.
It's just so funny. I'm like, all right, I gotta save these. I am very good at saving ephemera and then never using it. So hopefully there isn't a pattern here today. So I heard you mention that you generally lay down a couple things and then you pick your color palette.
Yeah.
I do the complete opposite. And obviously there's no like right way. It's just whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
So I usually go through all of I have file folders of ephemera, and it's all divided up by color. So I just, gauge how I'm feeling that day and what I'm thinking about creating. So today I'm in my blue period. This is my Yves Klein blue period. So I am leading with blue, and it could be a blue-green, it could be a navy, it can be a light blue. I'm just sort of playing around in that color palette today.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that's where mine is right now as well. But I feel like I've got some other blue things here. I'm going to try trying them out on this, and some blue-green.
Oh, I just came across, I didn't realize this was double-sided. There's young on one side and then matter on the other.
See, this is one of the difficult things about collage is sometimes you fall in love with what's on both sides. Is it thick enough that you can peel it apart?
Ooh, I think so. That's a great question. Because I've been laying it out with the word young, but now I'm like, oh, matter actually sounds cool too. Let me see if I can peel it apart. This is definitely from you. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's flimsy. Oh no.
So, the other thing is, even if it comes apart while you're doing it, you can still stick it back together. Right?
Totally.
I vote peel it apart.
I am performing surgery right now. There we go.
Yeah. And so that other one, the word that's coming apart, you'll be able to glue that back together. And then it has even this more interesting, especially because it's the word young that's coming apart, right?
Right. I actually kind of just like these pieces of these letters right now. Let's see if I can get this O off. Or, oh, wait, hold on. It'll just be yang.
You just need to find a U. I can send you this piece of ephemera like through the Restream software. Like this color needs to be in your collage.
All right, I got a U-ish. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Where's my glue?
I love that.
Is there anybody collaging from Germany? Hello, collaging from Utah. I'm just now looking at the chat. This is very exciting. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Lee is standing by to prompt us with questions. They'll pop up on the screen just like that. I might actually draw an O with this word young. So we'll see how this works out.
I don't know. I like the mica. Do you know that's for plumbing, that mica wash?
Yes, this is also a great example of ephemera I've just held on to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's got to be a reason for this. It's got to be a good spot.
I'm trying to decide if I want to go to like warm colors here. Like add something warm in.
All right, I'm ripping this O off. I decided that I need it. Oh my goodness. Hi from Michigan. Oh, do we have just like do we have a fan club in Michigan? Because I saw some other Michigan friends as well. Oh, I don't think I mentioned I am in Boston.
Yeah. And I'm in Healdsburg, California.
this is a true around the world, well, it is a national holiday. So this is a true celebration of everyone around the world. All right, hopefully that does something. Yeah, it does something. Get it out. Oh, the shine happening between those hands, that hand, I thought was like actual glare from wherever you're sitting.
See, but I don't, this is where, see, I left this part taped or just glued in one place. I'm okay with losing Night Rendezvous as color, but I'm not okay with losing Mysterious or Symmetry. So I think I can get that this way. But I also don't want to lose pencil, but I'm okay with losing the toothbrush. So I think if I cut out around these fingers, sometimes I just glue everything down and don't think too much about it. And other times I like to fiddle with the collage a little bit.
Yeah, I used to be very into the double stick tape and like just lightly placing things before I committed to putting them down. And now I'm just like, I'm wasting time. Just put it down.
Glue it, stick it.
This is absolutely a lesson in like commitment. And I'm realizing that the art crayon is like getting all over my fingers, but now I'm just going to use it as like finger paint on some of these pieces. I actually really like this.
Yeah. Do you have a water brush nearby? Because if you set it with water a little bit, it'll.
So I do have a water brush, and I'll one up you on this. I actually have a teeny tiny like spray bottle.
Nice.
So I'm curious to see how the pigment will just like expand when I hit it with some water. So we're going to experiment with that in a moment. I'm feeling these blues. And I've got a map here of the Cape that I really love. And it used to be a bigger map, so I've ripped it up pretty well over the last couple of months. So I'm feeling an ocean theme here. And I actually have a lot of blue ocean ephemera, which I'm very excited about. I've got these like bubble textures. And I actually I have a Chanel ad for this like fragrance.
Ooh, yeah, good blues in there.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a doodle. That's not part of the ad, but it could be.
All right.
It's definitely going to be part of it. Oh, I forgot my mic.
So one of the things that I like to do is not toss the things I cut away right away, because this is from cutting around the thumb, and it's a little way to get a little bit more of that color in there. So I'm going to first trim a bigger piece of it. So it's almost like drawing a line with cut paper. But if I just try to stick it off center slightly, it's too close, right? So if any of you have ever done stained glass, it's like that idea where you have to have that little bit of space in between all the lines of your pattern so that things will fit together well. Where the metal foil goes. And so you kind of have to do the same thing with paper collage in this way.
So I spritzed a little bit on this art crayon, and it didn't do much. So I do have a water brush. I'm just going in and sort of like dabbing some color around. I'm really leaning into this like aquatic ocean vibe here, especially with now that I put water on it, it's really an ocean vibe. Nice.
That way it'll start getting on your hands too.
Yeah, that's true. But this is also like, lately I've been doing a lot of art making and then for like an allotted amount of time and then walking away and then coming back the next day and just redoing the entire thing. Can you relate? Oh, So now that this is wet, I'm like, okay, do I walk away for a second and then like come back, see what it looks like in like a couple minutes? I have a blue Deco Gel gel pen, and this thing works on everything. So I'm like excited to do a couple scribbles here and there.
Yeah, actually, I have a gold one here, or orange, I guess it says.
Oh, nice.
And that's going to look really nice with this yellow, orangey gold. So kind of sometimes using, I mean, some people are collage purists and they wouldn't want to use other media with collage, but I really like strategic use of other media.
I agree.
Great parts of the collage.
Totally.
Because look how beautifully this gold goes on over top of these other materials.
Yeah, that actually looks really awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's all
very, very cool. Yeah, this gel pen was like, I mean, I knew I loved it when I saw that it could literally go over everything. Like it's working really nicely on this like magazine paper. Works well on like hard surfaces, porous.
paint chips.
Totally.
All right, so I've got those little tiny bits of paper that I cut off and I'm going to stick them on. This is where if you're in the middle of a big collage project, your fingers can start to get really sticky. One of the things that I like to keep around is just water wipes, so unscented water wipes. And then you can take your fingers off and then you have less sticky fingers so you can continue going on with your collage. And then again, you don't have to get up and go wash your hands. You can stay in what you're doing.
That is a pro tip. You really are just like nesting.
Totally.
You're like, I'm not getting up. I'm just going to leave these wet wipes over here.
Yeah. So I usually keep those by my art supplies. It's also good if you're traveling while you're doing artwork and you have that, because those are airplane safe, and if you make a mess on your fingers, you can clean up after yourself, not in the airplane bathroom.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm just going to town with these leftover little yellow bits. And since it's more yellow orange, I've got the complementary colors thing going on with this page. They're like
nice. Oh, this one's cool. Where are those bubbles? Oh, here they are.
All right. So now I have all this orange on this side. Nothing really on the other side, but I'm kind of okay with that. I like the way this works well with this. I think I just want to add a couple more layers. And that sound of cutting is such a satisfying one.
Oh, the ripping sound?
Yeah, and just like cutting through with your scissors, you know? Like
It's very satisfying. Oh, bummer. The glue stick is too sticky. I just ripped some ephemera as I was gluing it.
Anyway.
It's fine. I'll live. Let's see.
All right, I'm going to set this piece aside. There's so many things I want to play with today. One of them is this that I made. And this is an image from a magazine, and I really liked it, but I didn't necessarily relate to the person. So I rubbed the face away using Neverdoll. and I also have a stencil on there. But I wanted to show that you don't have to have the Never Dull, which is a metal polish, and it's a little bit noxious. You don't have to use that. This is 2000 grit sandpaper, so very fine sandpaper. I've got a stencil underneath here.
Oh, we've got a question that came up from Lisa. Thank you for the question. The gel pens do go great over different papers, but I found they smeared later on me, like they didn't set. What would you do to set the ink? Is there a way? Ooh, great question.
Yeah, I just recently found out about something that I was very skeptical about, but it really works. So Mod Podge now has a spray that's a mist, and it says it's indoor, outdoor, permanent, no brushing required. And I'm looking at all the instructions on this thing going, there's no way. But it really, it's a super fine mist. The only thing you have to be careful about is that you really clean the misting top every time. Otherwise it'll jam and clog and you have to kind of clean it out. But
right.
New thing, very impressed. That would be my best bet. If it feels like it's not setting, if it's a very glossy paper, it might not. And something more like an art sealer that's aerosol. But what I like about the product that Mod Podge makes is there's no scent, it's not noxious. Cleanup was just with water, and you can do it at your desk while you're working instead of having to take it outside and get out the spray paint and all of that. Yeah.
That is cool. I will have to look for that. Mod Podge as like a fixative. That's really cool.
Yeah. All right. So now I have a couple different ways that I've worked with this image, and I can start to tell a little bit more of a story with her. It's like almost like a mime-like look, right? Like she's trapped inside somewhere.
All right, I'm gonna let my spread dry over here. And then, let's see.
When I'm making the decision about putting something in my art journal, one of the things I'm always very careful about is not putting the face right into the gutter. Even though I've erased her face, I don't want to put her face there. I'm going to offset it, right, so that it's on this page. And then if I'm gluing down an entire magazine sheet like this, especially when it's thin, this is from that magazine W that has very thin paper. It's good for collaging, but it's a little fragile.
Right.
I actually put the glue stick onto the journal or onto the paper first.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah, instead of being glue into the back of the paper, and then you invariably get glue all over everything, and it sticks to itself, and it's a million different problems.
I found this really, I think it's powerful. J. Crew probably thought it was just another photo, but it's like a little bit blurry. I actually found this morning and I was like, oh yeah, I'm using that. And I like this sort of like peeking out of something look. So I'm trying to decide. Ooh, I kind of want to like something about hiding. So maybe layering just on top of like this section right here. So I'm using my favorite, my sketchbook is drying, so I'm using my favorite surface, which is the Canson mixed media boards. They're awesome. They take a little bit of time to slice at the size that I want. I use an X-Acto blade, but they are wonderful for collage, and I have so many of them. So I'm going to glue this down first and then have that be my starting point.
I feel funny sometimes when I'm doing what you're doing, where you're like spreading glue over people's faces. Sorry.
Sorry, I need the other side. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to look for some other, I have some other black and white things here on my desk.
This is another moment where I feel like I could just pass things through the computer to you because I have a lot of black and white.
I mean, I kept this for this side,
Mm-hmm.
but when I set it down on this side, it's kind of interesting to have a little bit of a person's face, because her face is gone.
I love that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
Let's see.
You're both doing pages about hiding in some way right now, Sarah.
I found one. This is the last page that I have with this pattern on it. This is our favorite pattern from World Magazine, not sponsored. But if World Magazine is watching, can you send us more magazines, please? Because I ran out of this amazing like swoop pattern from wherever your photo shoot was.
Yeah.
So cool. There it is. The ASMR of collaging.
Yeah. This is another thing that I've just been kind of hanging out in my collage material. This was the packaging of, I think, some clothing that I got.
Ooh.
Instead of packaging it in plastic the way they do sometimes, it's this. And talk about ASMR. It's got a really nice crinkle to it.
Right.
And this is something that you might do just to add a little more visual interest to things that you're collaging on, is to wrinkle it up first. So now you see I've got these great wrinkles. I'm going to let it hide for a bit. And I'm going to take a little bit of, this is a colored pencil stick.
I was just going to ask, it's a colored pencil stick?
Yeah, it's Crayola's answer to the thing that, what am I thinking of? Another colored pencil company, Prisma, discontinued their amazing colored pencil sticks, and I was heartbroken. So I bought up everything I could find online, and then Crayola actually came out with a similar product.
Too funny. That reminds me of there was one time where we work a lot with Marabou. As you can see, we've got like art crayons up the wazoo, and Marabou, I believe, is discontinuing their mixed media art spray. So we just bought whatever they had left.
Yeah.
So we cornered the market for the mixed media art spray. It was hilarious. We just had so much, and I was like, well, our customers love these, so we're just going to buy out the rest that you have. So now they're like limited edition. I don't even know if we have any in the ArtSnacks shop. They might have sold out, but who knows?
Yeah, so I think we use them in
Rodney, thank you for joining us. This is this is fun. So many ideas. Thank you. I feel like the ideas situation is endless with collage, so can never go wrong. I'm starting to branch into my typography studies here. I know, Erin, you know this, but for those of you watching, I have a very stuffed box of letters that I just saved from magazines. So I didn't take, the only ones I took out was this big spread that says space twice. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I love it. So I haven't jumped into my box of letters yet to pull out. Sometimes I use them literally as like a word or a letter, but most of the time I cut up the letters to make them just look like really abstract shapes. So I am not ready to pull them out yet, but I'm getting pretty close.
I didn't want to lose too much of my background here, so I'm kind of cutting these down a little bit so I don't lose too much of what's happening here. And I kind of like that layout, the way that's coming out. And for this, to stick these down, I'm actually going to use matte medium.
Oh man, where am I going with this? I found this beautiful bouquet and now I'm just like, does this person need sunglasses? Like,
Collage distraction. Oh, I love that.
like, do they need, I think this works.
Yeah. Also sign me up for those sunglasses.
Right? This is like couture. I don't think this is just like sold at Sunglasses Hut. Okay, I kind of love this. But I am very picky about making my lines straight and having them connect. So this is going to take a few minutes to glue down to make sure that I get it the way I want it. Let's give it a shot. I think this one's going to be more of like a minimalist collage.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I'm in the middle of working on a page, sometimes I don't trim it until I feel like I'm totally done, so that I'm going off the edge of the pages.
I love doing that. I feel like it's so cool when it comes out like so unexpected.
To trim it at the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the blue lines here show where the edge of this is. And I think I'm gonna let that one set aside for a bit.
Oh, Rodney says, put it over her forehead. Her eyes are so beautiful. You know, now this is just becoming really difficult. Do I want it high or do I want it low? I think oh my gosh. I think I'm going to leave it like this and then see what else I can put in here so that I can really build on the page. Is this where maybe the graduates go? Do they go in here? No.
That's fun.
I feel like it just does not fit the vibe.
The graduate.
No.
Yeah.
Not working.
It would be funny though.
It would definitely be funny.
What do you have in your hand there?
This is you sent this to me.
Yeah, it was a wire sculpture book. That's what that's from.
And I'm running into this again. It looks very cool on this side, and then so does this.
Do you have some tape?
What kind of tape?
Any kind of tape, because you could make it have a flap so that it could open.
Oh, I do have tape. So like tape it up at some point so that it's open.
Yep. And then you can even collage over top of the tape, or you could use washi tape and have it.
I have clear tape. Yeah.
I just send you this through.
Give me some lilacs.
Sometime we'll just have to arrange for a World Collage Day where we can be in the same place and just like both of us come with suitcases full of stuff.
Totally.
Next year.
Let's see. I'm seeing in the chat. I haven't found a bride yet, but I'm having fun clipping and ripping some great ephemera from my stash of magazines. Amazing. Love that. You don't need to find the bride immediately.
Yeah. Like I have a page, I'm gonna set I really want to do something with this chameleon and then the close-up of the chameleon, but I have another page that needs attention first. Because I made this page and it has these two little poems.
Oh, cool.
For something or someone. I don't know who yet. I have to find some people or animals or something to go into those little spaces.
You know, I was planning on making this card flip a little bit, but I kind of just like it right here. I don't think I'm going to cover her eyes. I think they're going to, this is going to be like a flower veil on top. Nothing is glued down. Well, not nothing, but some things are glued down. Not all.
I'm going to put that on hold because I just found the most important thing to collage today.
Oh, the most important thing? What is that?
It's from a Vintage Life magazine.
Oh.
And it's got a silly crow on it, and I've been holding on to this, but this needs to be a very own page.
Oh, we love a crow. We love a silly crow.
Oh.
All right. I'm pulling out my my letterbox. It's not even on screen, so don't even bother. It's a lot.
All right, I'm gonna work on this crow on a page in my ArtJournalSnacks journal.
All right, I'm getting Lee is telling me to show the letterbox. Okay, so here is the letterbox. It does not fit in the frame. It just has letters, and then this is the letterbox.
Ah, so good.
I have a lot of dreams of actually making this like individual letterbox, but you know, I think it's perfect the way it is.
You know what you need is a vintage type sorting cabinet from letterpress.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I definitely need one of those for my paper letters that I cut from magazines. But yeah, I have so many. Before I throw out a magazine, I just sort through it and pick out typography that I really like.
That's what I do too. Go through and sort. I cut out. So I read the magazine, and then I go back through and I rip out pages, and then I trim things, and then I sort them. So I have. I use those scrapbook boxes, those big 12 by 12 boxes, because they can fit pretty much any magazine or book ephemera. And then I sort it. So I have animals, people, objects, nature, places, abstract, and then I have a couple boxes that I haven't sorted. Oh, and words and letter forms.
Oh, cool. Oh, so organized.
Yeah. And then that way, if you're like, I need a dog, you can look through the animal one and hopefully find a dog.
Mm.
So sticking this down, the most important part to me is the crow and the crow's googly eyes. And just a FYI, vintage magazine paper. Oh, look at her. This is where I need like an old photocopier in my place. Oh, I can't.
I see someone in the chat says, jealous of the letterbox. Hey, start today. Find yourself a box, go through all of your magazines or newspapers or whatever that has the most words, and then just cut them out before you recycle the magazine. I literally do it every time. My husband always keeps a pile of magazines, and he's just like, here's your ephemera. Thank you.
I love, this is in this old Life magazine, you can see that printed edge, right? Ink on the page continues.
Yes.
So good. So I'm gonna re-glue this part that I ripped off so that I get that vintage printed edge.
I am cutting out a letter F. Very exciting. Very exciting stuff over here. I remember during the pandemic when we were doing mixed media and like collage live streams, I was using these giant scissors and everyone watching in the comments was like, you need to get tiny scissors. And I was like, okay, at some point I will. And then I did. And I was like, you guys were right.
Yeah.
Tiny scissors.
The scissors are the way to go. Okay. Now I have my crow there. And I have this other piece that I used the sandpaper with. And I don't know, I like the colors in this that might be interesting to go in with this. But I feel like it would cover too much up. So I'm going to hold that aside. The other thing I have, and I think I used the other part of this in a different live stream, this blue rope. Oh, great.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Isn't that great though? Like,
it's so good. I need that.
So it might be interesting. The other thing that I look at sometimes is like, what text do I want to make go away? I don't really care about the this card part, but I like can be the shortest distance between you and some of the best times of your life. So could I cover that other part with something else? Oh, here's a collage hot tip. If you're ripping and you don't want the white edge of the ripped paper, you pull towards you with the part that you want.
That's funny because I always want the white edge. I love it.
Sometimes I like to have it blend a little bit.
Words about passion. Gonna make this a little smaller. We'll keep her eyes. I'm going with a Rodney suggestion. Thank you. I'm not going to cover her eyes, but I am going to cover her mouth with some text. But I think I need something to go underneath that.
I really like that spirally thing with that was a track, right, from the catalog.
Yeah, it's a nice juxtaposition.
From two very different sources. So see,
Oh, totally.
The fun about collage is that you're bringing together things from so many different media and places to tell your story.
No, I don't like that. Oh, gotta find a new piece of ephemera. I don't think I'm gonna use them today, but I held on to my glasses from the eclipse.
Oh yeah.
It says get mooned, which is hilarious to me. So this is another option, just laying these right on top. And
oh, that's fun.
It is fun. And like, I get it. These are like basically solid black with like a little bit of chrome on the top, but I kind of wish they were a little bit see-through.
Yeah.
Obviously that does not make them any safer for looking at an eclipse, but I'm holding on to I have two pairs. I'm holding on to them to see if there's some sort of collage piece that I can put them in. Or they'll just forever live in my pile of ephemera. Which a lot of my ephemera does.
So sometimes a piece that I wanted to use elsewhere ends up working on a different collage. So this piece I was trying to incorporate into my first one, but I think I kind of like it here because the pattern in one part is kind of interesting with this tile pattern.
Lee, you want to pan over to Erin's overhead? Thank you.
Yeah. So even though, I don't know, the color is maybe a little bit strange with it, but it starts to go with some of the other colors that are on this that I like. So this is why the collage nest works well for me, because things are always within reach.
Mm. Collage nest.
Yeah.
I like that one. I found like a note card the other day as I was going through ephemera.
Mm-hmm.
The note card said ephemera envy, and I just remember that was from our last live stream. So I was like, ooh, I have ephemera envy. All right, I have this little baggie of ephemera, like medium-sized ephemera. Ooh.
That's this one.
This is from you.
Yeah, sequin leftovers.
Oh, I thought this was ribbon.
Well, it is, but that's what they make. They pop the sequins out, and then they save the thing. They pop the sequins out and sell it as ribbon.
That is so smart. And I'm also so mad that I didn't think of that. It's sequin leftover. Oh my God. Sequin skeleton.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm just like, oh, here's this holy thing that I'm carrying around. I'll figure out a use for it eventually.
Mhm.
Let's see. I have some, I think, I don't know if you gave this to me or if a customer sent this to me. It's, I believe, Japanese text.
Pretty.
It's really pretty. I think I like that more than, I don't want to make this one too busy. I'm sort of going for like a minimalist collage. I think this fits. I don't think, I'm going to save the confetti skeleton for something. Ooh, okay. So now here's the toss up. I've got, you sent me this as well. This is music notes.
Oh yeah.
Also interesting to look at, which works well. In the chat, if you all are watching this, what do you think goes with this motif that I'm building here? We've got some, I don't know if this is Japanese or not, so don't quote me on this, some sort of Asian text. But then we also have music notes. Which black and white, it's like a newsprint, do you think works best? Here, I'll do the text again. I don't know. They both work.
Yeah, I like the music notes with the curving lines.
Right. Text. Okay, so, we've got a vote for text. And we have a vote for music notes. Music notes, text. Okay, we've got 4 votes here. It looks like music notes are winning. All right, I'm going to save this. I have a couple. I actually have like a Japanese map that might work better for this on another collage for another day. Thank you for those who voted. I'm going with the music notes. What the song is, I have no idea. I feel like I never fully learned how to read music, but it's never too late, right?
There, I'm working with some throwback stuff too. This is from the first box.
Oh yeah.
And then I put crackle glaze over top of this one.
Oh, I love that. That crackle glaze you didn't do recently, right? You did that when you first got it?
Yeah, but it's just been sitting in this box of collage, like use up the rest of it. So
amazing.
Just kind of a fun thing to play with your collages if you're not sure what else to do with them. Like, what kind of media could you maybe put over the top? You know, crackle glaze or some acrylic paint or something else. Thread. All right, I'm gonna set my program aside. Now I'm gonna go back to these and figure out who's gonna live inside. I know I have some people here somewhere.
All right, I'm looking at the time here. We've got, oh, we're at an hour. Let's see where we get in like 15 more minutes.
Okay.
Thank you to everyone who's joining us. I think I'm going to put my plug in here now for ArtSnacks Mix. If you are not on ArtSnacks Mix, I highly recommend you join. It is our online art community where artists from all around the world can share their art, get feedback, learn a couple things. We post tutorials, we post videos, and it's just a fun space to be with other like-minded artists. It's totally free to sign up, and I am going to encourage everyone, if you're making a collage today, I encourage you to take a photo of it and post it on ArtSnacks Mix, because that's what Erin and I are going to be doing. And since you're just watching us collage, we want to see what you all made. So definitely join ArtSnacks Mix. Oh, thank you, Lee. He put the website down below. Mix.artsnacks.co is the website. So after this live stream, if you're not a member, go sign up. If you are, go post what you created today.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go with the expected thing inside my little vignette. Because I still have, for those of you who are ArtJournalSnacks folks, you saw me put one of the little birds from this birdseed bag, but if I put these two on, then I can get rid of the rest of the bag.
Mm.
So that's kind of good. So I've got a cardinal and I've got a bluebird here.
I have a window in front of my desk over here, and I was watching a blue jay and a cardinal play together yesterday. It was very cute.
Two very bossy birds.
Yes. I don't know what the meeting was all about, but, you know, they saw each other, started chatting, and then, you know, they were just flying everywhere. But it was very entertaining.
I know that Rodney mentioned this also, that he heard about it, but Amy Tan has this new amazing book about bird watching, and it's so good, and she writes a lot about her ideas about what the birds might be thinking and doing, and she's like, oh, I'm anthropomorphizing them, I know I'm doing that, but I don't care because I like all these little stories. And it's full of her drawings of the birds in her yard. She pretty much turned her entire yard into a bird habitat.
Wow. That's so funny.
Yeah.
What birds are thinking. Wow. Would love that.
All right, so I've got my two little birds here, and then I just have to decide how I want to have them. Generally with a page like this, it just aesthetically makes more sense to have them facing each other, but it could tell kind of an interesting story to have them facing away from each other like they're mad.
I kind of, okay, switch them again. I like them not looking at each other. I think I like them not looking at each other more than this. Yeah.
Well, the other thing to check out is the text that is already in here. But I think that does work better, looking away from each other. Yeah. Okay.
It's funny. Those are the only two things that have been collaged on that spread, right?
Yeah.
I feel like this is my favorite spread you've made all day.
Because I made this text. This is the left from.
Oh yeah. So. But it just like, I don't know. There's so much color and energy that I'm like, this might be my favorite page that you've collaged today.
I'm gonna glue these guys down. I'm switching to tacky because they're flat.
Got it. I just got a smudge on this and I'm not happy about it. Here we go.
Go an eraser?
Yes, let me try that. It's glue, so it's not.
But it might rub it off the surface a little.
Yeah, it's good enough. I'm gonna take out my favorite art supply for collaging. Can you take a guess at what it is?
Favorite art supply for collaging?
It's tough because I feel like I don't talk about it enough.
Is it that giant black pen?
The one that I'm holding in my hand right now?
I knew it.
Yes. This is the Montana Bold marker. I don't even know if we have any more of these in the shop, but this is my favorite marker. It just puts down, I got to practice first. It puts down such a thick line that I'm just like, this marker is, I don't know. It's just so good. It's really thick nib. I used it for when I was moving. I used this marker exclusively for labeling boxes, which was great.
Yeah.
But like, look at that. It's a little wet when you put it down, but it's so dark. Oh, thank you, Lee. He dropped it in the chat in the Art Snack shop. I love this marker. I do not recommend inhaling when you use it because it's a little smelly.
Okay.
But I use this marker on backgrounds. I use it as like last couple like details for such a big marker. So I'm going to do that now. And I'm going to use my signature scribbles. So everyone hold your breath because hopefully it comes out the way I want it to come out. But I just do like
your breath so that we don't inhale the fume.
That too. But I just do like a scribble. I like that. I think it came out good. And like this is me letting go. I have no control over this. I have no like plan.
Yeah.
Everything else was planned except for when I put the art supply down. So I might add a couple more in here just for balance. Yeah, I think I'm done with this marker, but I love this marker. I'll show quickly my other, I'm gonna let this chill for a little bit on the side. In my sketchbook, I used it as like an opening on the opening page. Where is it? There it is. This was one that was dying. As you can tell, there's a lot of like dry brush here.
Yeah,
but like sometimes it just carries the page to where you need it to go.
A big bold mark.
Big bold marker. Highly recommend. I think I want to say it's like $10.
I knew it was going to be that.
We've got some
ride or die material, Sarah.
Oh, say that again.
That's your ride or die art material.
Yes, your ride or die is the permanent glue stick. Hey. My ride or die is the bold Montana marker. I'm just looking in the chat here. Darla is mentioning you can use that holy sheet as a template and use some paint and bottled on top and leave little polka dots on the surface of paper. Oh yeah. And when you say the holy sheet, I would assume that you mean this guy, the sequin skeleton. I could absolutely use this as a template. Actually, does it look good? I think I'm going to use it right here on this page.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
I kind of like that.
Nice.
Thanks, Darla. Thanks for the comment. Do I want to cut this? I kind of want to cut it. Where are my scissors? Oh,
I would like to see that I successfully used up 2 glue sticks today.
You used up 2 glue sticks?
They weren't brand, like they weren't just used, but opened. But yeah, I've fully, this is like always a sad moment to me. This is why I need to have a very big supply so that, don't worry, there's another one on my desk.
That's hilarious.
But you can still use the very, very last of this with like small items. If you use your finger to push the small item down into the little canister.
All right, I am going to use, where's my tacky glue? Okay, I'm starting to nest, but it's not working for me because I'm losing everything. I have a comment here or a question. Do you scoop the glue out of the very bottom?
Oh, such a good question, because when I worked at a state hospital, this was like sought after material. They didn't have these glue sticks, but the guys they could check out glue sticks on the unit, and there was 2 glue sticks a month for a unit of 50 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the first guy early month would check out a glue stick, cut off the whole glue stick part, roll it all the way up, cut the whole thing off, turn it back in, no one would check. And then the whole unit of 50 guys would have no glue stick for the rest of their month.
Oh no.
I actually wrote about it in an article about materials in art therapy, because it was such a to me a sign of how strong the impulse and the need to create is, that I'm even willing to deprive 49 other people of the ability to glue so that I can glue.
That's so interesting. All right.
But in answer to that question, what I do usually at the very end of the glue sticks like this is I'll take little things and push them down into the end. So your fingers are going to get sticky if you do this, but it's a good way to use up every last little bit. And this elephant, man, this was a very hard one piece of ephemera. I posted it on the ArtJournalSnacks Instagram, I think. Either that or my personal one, but I was peeling apart a coffee bag. This was on the inside of the coffee bag, this beautiful, yeah. And
wow.
so coffee off of it. It's so beautiful. I saved that part. And then this was on the outside, and it was kind of like watching Sarah peel those two pieces apart. It was very hard to get this elephant off in one piece, and I mostly did. I was very proud of it. So I think it gets to be the opening page in this ArtJournalSnacks journal because
love that.
It's a very hard one.
I'm doing some last final pieces here and just gluing them into my sketchbook.
Yeah, the elephant is from a coffee bag. That's what it's from. Thanks for asking, Kathy. How did we catch the person doing that? We finally saw them doing it. And they would save like an empty chip bag and put the glue stick in there, you know, the part they had gotten out.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, for a little while, glue sticks had to be used under supervision. So everybody lost.
This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Funny. Ooh. Shaking my camera here. All right, I'm going to add just a couple more things. I also have, this is the orange gel pen. This one's more metallic-y.
Yeah, it says orange, but it's like just warm gold, I think is what they mean, right?
Something like that, yeah. Adding a little bit of color. I think this one is almost done. Very cool. How you doing over there?
I have a very big mess. I am trying to decide if this elephant wants to have something else to go with him. Because I have the original copies that I made, the transparencies that were in the last ArtJournalSnacks ephemera pack.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have this wren, and the line quality is very different. It was very similar to what the elephant has, so I think I'm going to add this little wren in there because I really like wrens. And kind of doing the same. So one of the things I think about with collage is repetition of pattern or an echo. And so I think about a visual echo being kind of similar shape. So it's kind of like what you did on that page with the twirly thing and then the lines on the
Mm-hmm.
So this little wing, the body language of the elephant, trunk up, and then the wren standing in this position kind of has that similar look. So maybe
Nice.
Wren wants to be over here. I like that for spring, right? What's inside, a fresh start. We have two very optimistic animals here.
Agreed. All right, I think I am gonna wrap up. We were just given by our timekeeper 3 minutes. Anything you want to discuss in regards to World Collage Day, Erin, while we're still on?
Yeah, I think that no matter what, every day can be World Collage Day.
I agree. Thank you.
But just know that if you participated today, even if it was just ripping some things out to collage later, you participated in something that was done all over the world. And what a great moment to pause and get a little bit messy and rip some paper and join in a creative practice with people all over the world. That's pretty amazing. So love that.
Totally. Yeah, this was a great way to just like put my brain on a shelf and not think about having a finished piece, not thinking about having a plan, even though I sort of did have a plan, but that's just who I am. I always have a plan. So I didn't stray far away from who I am. So that's important. So yeah, Lee, why don't you pan over to our surfaces so we can just get like a last look at some of the stuff that we did. So here is my piece from, this is on the Canson paperboard. I added in, I really like these little details. I added in the orange or like the warm gold gel pen across her eyes. But I like this. It's like a fun hat with like a little bit of a dance to it. And then I'm also loving the sort of nautical or aspiring nautical view that I took here. There's nothing really nautical here besides a little bit of bubbles and a map of the Cape. But it was a good exploration in texture, which I really like, and keeping a consistent color palette. So I'm really enjoying it. And I don't, another fun thing is that I don't know if it goes this way or if it goes this way.
Oh.
I think this is one that might take a few different shapes and ways. That looks cool too. All right, Erin, show us what you got.
All right, so I made a glorious mess. You can see some of it behind me. I'm especially happy with the pairing of these two. Sometimes it's what you do at the end that you get especially excited about. But I think this page is the page that was maybe the most surprising to work on. This has been sitting in a pile of collage papers for a very long time, and so has the pushing the envelope words. And I wasn't intending on putting this face in there, and I think it's just a good example of letting the collage do what it needs and wants to do. So fun to work on that.
I really like
it. Good message, right? Go out there and push the envelope in your life and with your art.
Amazing. So where I mean, I know we're gonna end really soon, but in case our viewers want to keep up with us, oh, my camera's shaking again. Well, I'll just make a general announcement. ArtJournalSnacks is one of the few subscription services that ArtSnacks offers, where you can do this on a regular basis. You can keep an art journal. Every box comes with an art journal, ephemera curated by Dr. Erin, and a couple of art supplies to sort of start your journey and start your sketchbook. So highly recommend, if you loved what you did today, definitely subscribe to ArtJournalSnacks, because you can continue this process and you'll get more live streams with Dr. Erin as well. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm at Sarah Rubes. I think I have a little sign here. Beep, 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 at Sarah Rubes. I know that's backwards, but I'll put it on my surface here, where I post some collage stuff on Instagram. And Erin, where can we find you?
I'm Two Little Wings, number 2 Little Wings. Probably not a shock that it's bird related. It's actually a song lyric, but Two Little Wings on Instagram, or you can also see me on the ArtJournalSnacks Instagram as well. And I'd love to make some more art with you, so join me.
Yay! Thank you everyone for joining us here live. This was awesome. It will be recorded and posted to our YouTube page, so you can play it back anytime and watch our process all over again. Yeah, in the meantime, we'll see you on Art Snacks Mix. We'd love to see what you made today. Oh, we have a really great comment that just came in. Thank you so much. If you're on the fence, ArtJournalSnacks is totally worth it. It's my favorite. Snaps for that one. Thank you. We really appreciate the endorsement. So yeah, it's a great club. Oh, the comments, they just keep on coming. Thank you. We love having you all here. Amazing. All right. Thank you, everyone. Lee, take it away.